Hey guys, it's Bree. Today I'm doing a quick reading update. The review that was supposed to go up today, I ended up having to refilm because I looked half asleep the entire time, which I was. I was very tired that day. But today's video instead is going to be a update on some camera stuff that I got. It's a little brighter in here. Hopefully the sound's a little better because my birthday's this week, so my boyfriend and my parents combined ideas and got me a new tripod, a ring light, and a mic. So hopefully the quality is a little bit better. I was very excited. They did very good. So we have all of that going today. And then I'm going to go over what I'm reading and then some crafty updates on some things I made. So first off, I did get my library card, which means I am still reading The Return of the King and The Queen of Oren-Yaro, which are the two fantasy books I was reading last time. But also I discovered Libby and have been reading a lot of random books. That means today I'm going to be filming 3 new reviews for you. They are Dead Voices by Katherine Arden, a science fiction book called The Luminous Dead, and a short story from Stephen King called Cycle of the Werewolf, which is what Silver Bullet is based off of, if you've seen that movie. So I'm excited about all 3 of those. It's starting to get into fall, which means I'm going to read a lot more horror type books, and all 3 of those definitely fall into it. One's a middle grade, one is a science fiction horror, and then of course classic horror. And then I also got some library books. The first one I got is The Five, which is basically a history of the 5 victims of Jack the Ripper. And the author, Hallie Rubenhold, makes the argument that that not all 5 victims were actually prostitutes, that they were just poor women, and she goes into a bit more of the norms and culture of Victorian England, especially if you were a poor individual. And then the other 2 I got, which you'll notice the theme, Mrs. Sherlock Holmes by Brad Ricca. This is about a female detective in New York City. So it's another history about true crime. And then this was the only Anne Rule book I could find in my library. It is Green River Running Dead, Running Red, not dead, which is which is a nonfiction book about the Green River Killer. He was a serial killer in Washington, I believe, that targeted prostitutes also, or sex workers. So those 3 I'm reading, and then the Libby books that I'm currently have checked out, which I didn't know Libby told you when people are waiting on the books you're reading. It causes some anxiety to read faster, but the ones I currently have downloaded are Capturing the Devil by Carrie Maniscalco. It's the 4th book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper stories, which goes with the 5. And The Ruins, which is a horror novel that takes place in Mexico. A bunch of tourists are looking for a German tourist missing brother, and it goes downhill from there. Then I have Tunnel of Bones, which is the sequel to City of Ghosts, which should be right around here somewhere. Eek. Of course, it's on the bottom. No. Ooh. It's the sequel to City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. It is another middle grade horror. This follows a girl. Her parents do a TV show about haunted places. This time it's in France. Last time it was in Scotland. And the 3rd book, I'm rereading The Shining because it's been 12 years? 12 years since I read it. So figured it was about time, and then I have a bunch of stuff on hold. And of course it keeps coming up early. So those are all the books I'm reading. I'm very excited. It's fall. I end up reading too many things in the fall because I'm just so excited. Alright, now for crafty things. I was crocheting a sweater in my last video, and I finally finished it. It is very big, very chunky. It fits surprisingly. So I'll put it on for you. Nice big chunky sweater. The rib detailing all the way around. Not fun to make, but ends up being really nice. Pockets, which I made sure my Kindle would fit into, since I plan on wearing this mostly at home. There you go. Fits in the pocket perfectly. So I will link this down below, but I found this free pattern and video tutorial from For the Frills. I believe she's an Australian blogger. And it is the J.R.R cardigans, or her easy beginner friendly oversized cardigan tutorial. It teaches you pretty easily how to read patterns, which I had never done before. I also didn't know how to do any of the stitches in this until I watched her video. So the whole back panel is where you start. Pretty big. I wanted mine bigger, and I used a smaller yarn, so I ended up making it 2 sizes bigger to compensate. You do all half double crochet on the back, and then you attach and make the front panels, and then individually you make the sleeves, which are half double crochet for this part. This cuff you make using double crochet, and then back and front post double crochet to make the ribbing details, which I had no idea how to do until I watched her do it a few times, and then I finally got it. And then you do the edge ribbing all the way around also, and then last you make your pockets, which I still have a little bit of yarn I need to trim off. But overall, it's a really easy to make cardigan, and if you're a total beginner, she walks you through really slowly and nicely on how to do everything. The only part I had some trouble with was she kind of goes over the sewing really fast, so when you combine your sleeves to the body and seam the edges of the body and then sew on your pockets, I wasn't always sure which stitch she was using. That part you could probably watch a different tutorial on, but overall I really like this. It's very comfy. It's very warm in here right now though, so put that over there. My next project, get a drink. My goodness, it's warm. My next project is going to be made out of this Pound of Love line brand yarn. It is medium weight yarn and what is the color? Rouge Bordeaux, I think. It's a nice dark red kind of wine color. I plan on knitting a sweater with it. I'm not as good at knitting, so it'll probably take way longer than the couple weeks that this took to make. But yeah, I will post the links to this pattern down below, as well as some reviews. And one thing I definitely recommend is keeping a notepad and checking off how many rows you've done. It helps a lot with following the pattern. And if you lose track at the end, I would tally when I did a row at the end of every single row. And that helped me keep track, make sure my panels were the same length, make sure my sleeves were the same length, because you don't want to be a little lopsided on the sweater. It won't look right. I did sew my pockets a little off, so be careful when you're pinning things and get stitch markers. It helps a lot with the sewing part. Yeah, but that is my reading and crafting update. I do have my Kindle Oasis review almost done for the blog. It ended up being way longer than I expected. It's way longer than the Fire review. I have a lot of pros and cons for that one. It's kind of a complicated because it is such an expensive e-reader. I wanted to go over all the details. And then after that one, the Paperwhite review will be going up. And then today I'm going to be filming those 3 reviews I mentioned before. So I'm excited. Hopefully you like some of the books, some of them. But until then, happy reading, guys.